and didn't even give me a chance to join in the stream. But I tell you what, it is still active on Rumble. So, I know who's screwing. I know somebody's screwing around. But I'm going to continue the video I was playing, and they can kiss off.
For pain, arthritis, cancer symptoms, sleep disorders, Alzheimer's, and many other ailments of aging. But doctors are not equipped to provide guidance, and there are no FDA standards for what is already in the market today. Medications. Older adults are suffering needlessly. Hemp-derived CBD can help them feel better, live longer, and improve their quality of life significantly.
A PricewaterhouseCoopers report estimates annual cost savings for the U.S. nearly $64 billion a year if cannabis is fully integrated into the healthcare system.
The groundbreaking 2018 Farm Bill, championed by President Trump, was the first step. Now it's time to educate doctors on the endocannabinoid system, provide Medicare coverage for CBD, and give millions of seniors the support they deserve. You will deliver the most important senior health initiative of the century, cementing your legacy and transforming aging care. Millions everywhere will thank you.
So this is, I noticed in the chats prior to my stream being interrupted, this is going to bring comfort and something for people to look forward to. Older people, many of whom are stuck in the old mainstream media blitzkrieg that we've been dealing with. I'm going to put my communist control back up again. So anyway, thank you all for coming back. And Gary, Debbie, Choosy, Pat B, Two Bears, a Google account, Rain, Randy made it back, Todd made it back, Gary, Robin, Jerry, all right. So hopefully most people will come back. It's not that hard to re-find me if you go to my channel. Not that hard to find me. I won't say when I will stop reposting, but I continue to try. I try to at least get an hour in with you all, if not two, depending on how they treat me. Maybe I shouldn't put up the stuff that I used to get taken down for. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't do that. But the world's in crisis. The world is being bombarded with pro-communist stuff. Trump is dropping the hammer, as we all knew he would. We were told he would. And it's got people nervous. So right when they're nervous, what do you put up? You put up hope. Hope to show that your purpose is for the good of the people. You have their good in mind. And that is why these disclosures are coming at this time, at the cusp of full force to remove the Marxists and communists that are trying to infiltrate the government and take over. So I'm trying to find the one that specifically mentioned Medbeds. And I know I uploaded it. But I know also that they mess with your stuff, man. They mess with your stuff. They've taken stuff right out of my phone. They destroyed my phones from afar. And people that think, well, that's crazy. No, it's not. Here we are. Fox News. For those in doubt. But the question is, Fox News that don't want to watch anything other than echo chamber. But this is the kind of news people are going to tune in over because it's about their health and safety and well-being and living a long life.
Breaking now, President Donald J. Trump has announced a historic new healthcare system, the launch of America's first Medbed hospitals and a national Medbed card for every citizen.
Every American will soon receive their own Medbed card. With it, you'll have guaranteed access to our new hospitals led by the top doctors in the nation, equipped with the most advanced technology in the world. These facilities are safe, modern, and designed to restore every citizen to full health and strength. This is the beginning of a new era in American healthcare.
In this first phase, only a limited number of Medbed cards will be released. Registration details will be announced very soon.
Registration details for Medbeds. And they're going to build hospitals. And let me tell you, folks, we know a lot of people have been around long enough to know how many hospitals, how many schools, how many government buildings, how many roads, how many bridges. Just in Vietnam did we build. I'm talking about that one, isolating that one conflict. How many billions in today's dollars did we put in to a country where we, air quotes, lost, right? And how many trillions did we sink into Europe? Even to this day, we're maintaining forces over there at a great expense. And how much money have we given to the UN? And we don't even have hospitals. The hospital that is near my community is been jokingly referred to as a first aid station. The only thing they have there for advanced care is a helipad to take you somewhere else if you got something other than a broken toe. So that money that we have been, excuse my gruff way of describing it, pissing away, is going to be put back into America. Okay, Judge, what was his name? Amir Ali, wanted to send billions of dollars in our country as a citizen. Shorter than it takes to pay off a car loan, you end up being a federal judge and were never sat on a bench anywhere. That has to come from subversive elements in our government. And we're going to root it all out. So these military characters that are coming, well, God bless the good ones. But you know what I'm talking about. Even go with a 10% rule, a 1% rule. We can't have them undermining what we're about to do. Foreign and domestic, full force. We're going to shake ourselves free of the bonds of Marxism. But there's so many people whose brains have been inundated with garbage. But what have we been finding out? This stuff came out about a year and a half ago. But now it's coming out like brand new news, right? One of them is the FBI fired a group of agents who kneeled during a civil rights related protest. Yeah, I got some more pictures of them, but they're fired. Because what were they doing? They were wearing their pink masks, purple masks, and they were DEI hires and just getting along with all the BLM, put slash Antifa, slash Acorn, slash Black Panthers, going back to the 60s, the Weathermen. It's all the same group tied together. So they got fired. We were screaming for that back when they were doing it. How dare they? How dare they participate in that activity that was tearing down our cities? People being beaten in the streets. But the J and then 6. See, I still got to mix it up so I don't get in too much trouble, because I know somebody will flick a switch and I'll be gone. And I have to work my rear end off to get back up again. But we were told that there were even those same numbers, 200, now they're saying 274 of them, 278. We knew that 2 years ago. That was disclosed. And I got taken down on Facebook. I got taken down on YouTube. I could say accurate reports. I could repeat accurate reports, and that was called misinformation. But now they're bringing it up like, oh, we just found out. We just found out. Remember this? Couldn't even say his name. See him whispering right there? Ray, and then Fed EPS. Breaking, President Trump calls for each and every one of the nearly 300 FBI operatives embedded on J6 to be identified. The lie totally crumbled. An nice hoax. And now it's time for justice for the real insurrectionists. Well, people can raise hell because, oh, we saw them do it. They tried to take over the government without a pistole. Huh? Not one. Not one. A bunch of mamas and grandmas and uncles walking with a cane, or walking through the getting invited in, or looking around. Wow, this place is pretty. Next thing you know, you've got federal charges against you. But the ones that were going around breaking the glass, 90% of them were people who changed their clothes and were there for the express purpose to create a filmable moment that they could put around and paint with a broad brush conservatives. I want to put a post up from the 17th letter that I found that I had back in 2022. 2022. Whoa, I'll get to this one in a minute. Where is that one I had? Oh my, here, let's see. Let's see if this is it. No, that's not it. I'll get to it in a minute. Stuff gets scrambled up, not by anybody's fault. It's just, that's the way. When transfers from the into the studio, it'll get scrambled up. But let me see if I can find it. Let me see. This might be it. Aha. It's it right here. Judicial Watch. Justice Department discloses no FISA court hearings held on Carter Page. Remember that? What was that? 4 years ago? 5 years ago? More than that, 5 years ago at least. So an Anon asks the questions, where are the judges? Were they compromised to? Judicial, it puts the link in for judicialwatch.org, and it's apparently been taken down because the link's not blue anymore. Justice Department discloses no FISA court hearings held on Carter Page. Warrants. If you bake it, we will crumb. So they put the link back up. And the 17th letter says, big, 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 3 times. Big, big, big. So we had judges not even holding hearings and handing out these FISA warrants. And who was one of the main judges on the FISA court that we're dealing with right now? I call him Big Mouth. Big Mouth Baldy Boasberg. That's who. Turn the plane around and bring him back, or face criminal contempt, telling the President of the United States. Going to the mattress for people that shouldn't even be in this country. So that's another thing that tells me that these judges are going to be removed one way or the other. Let me see what's going on here. Hi, Hebrew Hammer. How you doing? Lori's here. Nice to see you. Colette's here. Mike's here. Yeah. So anyway, the story's being told. People are going, if they hear about Medbeds, they hear about, air quotes, miracle cures, they're going to start going to where they can hear it. If these MSNBC won't post it, it'll get around word of mouth. And they will start watching another news source, namely Fox News. Remember this, folks? I found this from about 3 years ago. CNN scalp pool. So yeah, something's happening. It's been happening. Look at these names: Chris Cuomo, John Griffin, Rick Salaby, Jeff Zucker, Jeffrey Toobin, Don Lemon, now Jim Acosta. Please let me know in the chat. Says Jake Tapper totally been taken off CNN? The only one left is Anderson Pooper Scooper of that particular family you all know about. And then there's Brian Stelter. So I got to draw a big red X over Jim Acosta's face. And probably Jake Tapper, or fake Jake Tapper too. Just a little something from memory lane. Yeah, memory lane. I found this from 2022 right here. Russian general confirms Ukraine was harboring biological weapon labs designed to produce viruses. Yeah, the Russians been hollering about it for a long time, and so have the Chinese. So when is that going to happen? When are they going to start joining forces? Oh, and this one too I came across from 2022, 2021. John Sullivan, suspect in the conspiracy planning of the inner breach of the U.S. Capitol on J6 and leading the inner breach team, suspected of receiving direction from Pelosi or Paul. Take it down when I put this one up. And who's the one on the right? The scaffold commander. You gonna tell me the FBI can't ID that face? Right there, Scaffold Commander. Please help me identify the name of Scaffold Commander, associate team member of Ray EPPS, Outer Breach Team. Outer Breach Team and Inner Breach Team. We've known about it for years. And here's one I used to get in trouble for a lot. Why does this image even exist? Yeah, there's a baby there, and they're getting some BL and then double OD out of the baby. Oh, look at those little babies laying there taking naps. No, they're not taking naps. Picture's like 500 years old. A practice. And you see what the harvest is on the screen. We're going to be finding out about these things. Yes, we are. Because Dan Scavino posted today. Now, you tell me, have you heard of this on any other station at all? Oh, by the way, Dan Scavino got married. Him on his knee, on bended knee to his new bride. But anyway, Dan Scavino said it was an honor to speak to the Redefining Refuge Bubbles and Butterflies Gala in Tampa, Florida. I have not heard a peep out of this from any news agency. Please let me know if you did, and I'll apologize if you heard it from CNN, ABC, NBC, any of them. Thank you. to all the federal and local law enforcement agencies that rescued 63 children via Operation Dragon Eye, and all of the heroes behind the scenes that made it possible. Did you know there was an Operation Dragon Eye? Did you know that federal and local law enforcement rescued 63 children? Why isn't that big news? How come I have to get that from Dan Scavino's post? Because they don't want people to know the truth. They want people to live afraid. Here we go. Here's how they want people to live. Don't worry about 63 kids getting caught. There's a mosquito. Nightmare bacteria cases are increasing in the U.S. ABC. And they show this mosquito getting on his. I had about 10 mosquito bites tonight myself. You know, but it's, nightmare bacteria, right? They don't tell any good news. You know, on my thumbnail, you know what this is? Anybody know what this is on my thumbnail? Full force. Yes. Engaged, I believe. Yeah. Colette. Romeo. Yeah, I'm not afraid because I've been commanded. Have I not commanded you? Be not afraid. Every day's a bonus to me. I'm still kicking, and it might not be very high, but I'm still kicking. And if the day comes I got to stop kicking, that's the day. There you have it. I'm still blessed and honored to be here at this time in human history. I'm not worried about the mosquitoes, Shusey. I'll eat some garlic. Colette said all the generals coming. No, that's a good guess, though. That's a good guess. Radioactive alligators. I had a thing I found from like last year where they said polio vaccine found in New York City sewer system. Why would they put that up? What are you going to find in the sewer system? Rose petals? Flintstone vitamins? I mean, what are you thinking you're finding in the sewer? What this is on my screen is Donald J. Trump when he arrived at the UN. 2 Ospreys from the United States Marine Corps preceded him. One of the Ospreys carried the press corps. The other Osprey carried President Trump's staff. And he was preceded by security and military right in the heart of New York at the heliport. They weren't playing around, but the best they could do was stop his escalator. Now, the story is being peddled is that a photographer backed. You're not going to have a huge escalator that could be packed with people in such a condition that somebody could just bump against it and stop an escalator. That's ridiculous nonsense. The news agency that I never heard of shut their comments off about their story because people were telling me you're full of bull. So anyway, I've got a video that I believe Dan Scavino took. You see the people there in the bottom, their heads lined up along there, waiting for President Trump to come in Marine One. I have a video I'll play you. at the end of the video if I survive. So, let us continue. Oh, my goodness. Stop it now. There we go. Oh, I remember I mentioned to you all about for grown-ups to keep up with entertainment news and things of that nature, what they're doing to the movies, the comics, and stuff like this. It was a channel called WDW Pro. I probably said it wrong in the past, WWD Pro or something, but this is it, WDW Pro. It's a conversation for grown-ups about the condition of our entertainment industry. Jimmy Kimmel's ratings dropped 70% in the first week. Anybody else? Did you hear that from anybody? No, they're all like he's a victor, that he beat Trump. And Trump was a meanie and a bad, even though Trump is the one who took him down. Here's another message sent by Donald J. Trump. I thought the guy in the video was Matt Taibbi for a minute, but I think it's somebody else. This was posted by Donald Trump. Salty Goat put it up. This is awesome. Who's ready to see Adam Schiff in prison? Donald Trump posted this today. Are you ready to see Adam Schiff in prison? Let me see. I want to make sure I don't mess anything up.
You lied about Russia. You lied about Ukraine. Excuse me. Sorry about that. What are you going to do when the deep state can't protect you anymore?
Have a nice day.
When you're brought up for treason, what is your response going to be then? You're going to hear these words later, but you might as well hear them now. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, you will be provided with one. Do you understand these rights as I've cited them to you? Adam Schiff, everybody. Guys, the Democrats are committing treason. This is the shame. He doesn't have time for my questions. But right now, what we have going on in our country is an attack on our sovereignty. And it's time that all Americans stand up against it. I pray that you wake up and the Democrats wake up to the lie that's going on. But I think that's what's happening. I think the American people are seeing through it. And that's the beauty of this. You can't hide from it anymore.
Have a nice day.
Read him his rights. You get the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. Oh, speaking of blasts from the past, don't forget this one, folks. Very, very early, before they started calling themselves the 17th letter. I remember this so well. November 1st, 2017. Any person making statements they will not be seeking re-election was put in submission for the betterment of the country, and not all will be prosecuted, and all will do as they're told. You will see more of this occur. Not normal, yet disregarded. Even on the D side, the Democrat side, mainly telling us that a lot of them are going to be Republicans because both sides are rotten. Rotten. And this is the point we're at. I've been putting this meme up for 7-8 years. Now, this is where we're at. Normies, laying awake at night, thinking about what you said to them at the grocery store. So you might want to take a screenshot of that and put it on your Meta. Because that's the point we're at. That's the point we're at. And memory lane is so important. Memory lane is very important. How long ago was there a criminal referral made by Rand Paul concerning Dr. Fauci? I've got a copy of it somewhere. A little story that I used to get in trouble for putting that up too. Why couldn't I put up something that happened officially by a senator? Rand Paul's criminal referral for Dr. Fauci has officially been delivered. Nobody's talking about that. What happened to it? Do you think they just dry up and blow away? This is the kind of stuff that really got me in trouble. Right here. Patriotic babe. This is horrible, folks. I'm sorry. We're talking about human beings that never got to take a breath. A ghoul like Dr. Fauci. Let's not forget, Fauci also led NIAID-funded horrific experiments where scalps of children who never had a chance to live were stitched on the back of lab rats. Put that on your meta. People got to see what a monster is. And while these people are thinking, oh, I can have a Medbed. I can extend my life. Oh, wonderful. I'll get a free registration card. Maybe some little scrap of their humanity is left where they'll think about whoever belonged to that scalp that ended up on a rat, by a rat. We want to see justice. They keep talking about Adolf. They never did experiments like that. I put this up even before Trump ended up in court with Letitia James. Before there were ever charges, I was talking about these judges that had no business on the bench. And this one here, outrageous, corrupt New York judge, overseeing case, says Trump should be prosecuted because he's just a bad guy. Judge Engoron. What a creep. Donald Trump posted this also by John Solomon. My question is this, folks, because I got a long clip that Donald Trump posted from Newsmax. MSNBC is going to be released by Comcast. They're going to chop the rope and goodbye MSNBC. Is Newsmax going to take the place as far as when and where they're going to be broadcast? But anyway, here's John Solomon. And we were told, why does John Solomon get so many scoops? This was years ago in the 17th letter, letting us know that he has contacts of people in the know.
I want to talk a little bit about accountability and FBI. Tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up to a major story at Just the News. It answers a question that we've tried to pose for the last 5 years. Did FBI agents themselves believe the FBI had become biased? Tomorrow, you're going to see not one, not two, not five, not 10, but scores of FBI agents telling their leadership in an internal memo after January 6th that they believe the FBI had become politically biased against the conservative movement and for liberals. And they cite extraordinary circumstances, extraordinary details, extraordinary statements. It's so rare for the FBI to speak up against their leadership internally, but this happened on Chris Wray's watch. Now, all the while, Chris Wray was telling Congress, we don't have a political bias problem, even though his own agents were saying day in and day out. I'm going to answer for you for the first time. We're going to be able to give you a specific number. How many plainclothes FBI agents were in the crowd and working the Capitol on the day of January 6th. Now, we knew there were 23 undercover informants. We got you that data a few months ago. Tomorrow, we're going to tell you an astounding number. Yes, it's a very large number of FBI agents that were on the scene when the riot was breaking out, all in plain clothes, all unable to be seen. Chris Wray would never answer that question to Congress. We're going to answer it for you with these documents we're going to make public. Meanwhile, on the issue of the FBI, and maybe one of the men who owns some of the legacy of that politicized FBI, James Comey, a grand jury in Richmond right now, is considering evidence about whether he lied to Congress in September of 2020. The statute of limitations coming up next Tuesday. Today, prosecutors presented evidence in that case. And remember what we told you a few weeks ago. Director Comey told Congress, I didn't ask anyone to leak classified information. Then we showed you a document a couple of weeks ago where James Baker, the chief counsel and top lieutenant to James Comey, said, no, I was asked by James Comey through the chief of staff to leak classified information to the New York Times in October 2016. That is what the grand jury is evaluating tonight. We'll let you know if during the show they make a decision or whether next week, but we're keeping a close eye on that.
Trump himself posted that just to show us John Solomon was right. John Solomon was right. And so we're going to pay attention to what John Solomon says, and I imagine he'll be on Newsweek. Be careful what you say. How you say it, really. And remember, folks, what I think part of the reason I got so much, been getting so much trouble is I talked about that University of Pennsylvania professors that were arrested and we didn't hear any more about it. They had human beings in their possession. What were they doing with those human beings? So a lot of my memory lane ones I'll go down on a future broadcast. I want to get into what we're talking about today. Here, Trump posted this after he reposted the Ilhan Omar thing and when he posted about using the full force of agencies to stop crime, make crime illegal again. We're going to have to get rid of a lot of judges. A lot of judges. We had that Colombian president come down and run his mouth. I didn't get a copy of that video because he's saying everything is Spanish. But his visa's been revoked. Something is going to happen with Venezuela and Colombia. Well, you don't got to mark my words. You all are wise enough to know. Wise enough to know. Let's have a little relaxation and watch part of the crackdown of whack jobs messing around and finding out. Here is some dizzy protesters that think they have some kind of spiritual power. What have we been told about sorcery? We're not supposed to practice it. But they claim they're indigenous. But it looks to me like half of them just learned this Aleppo or Rahu or whatever dance. I mean, like the electric slide. They're not even doing it halfway right. But anyway, they're putting a curse on the ICE agents with their sorcery. I don't care if they claim they're noble Indians from the past or it's sorcery, paganism, whatever. So there they curse the ICE agents, and half of them probably learned that in there, got their master's degree in Paleolithic transgender basket weaving, their doctorate, you know. But anyway, Trump put up some videos of a crackdown. I'll just go ahead and play some of them for you. We'll see how that how'd that work out for y'all, that curse. Let's see. Is this the one where, oh, here they are with shields. And if you watch, it's kind of quick, but if you watch, the security forces just grab the shield, and if they don't want to let go, they just pull the shield and the person behind it and just toss them back to the other agents who arrest them and take them in the building. It's funny as can be, but they're giving them fair warning. Get out of the street.
They're shooting us. Get off the sidewalk, jag off. We're just trying to take these shields. They're kind of taking us away with more shield. There should have been behind me. I'm not really aware yet. We just don't want anybody to get hurt. You know what I mean? You guys could do your thing. What are you playing? Is that it? We good on the shields? We good on the shields? We're going to the shields. Get on the shields. Get on the shields.
Get on the sidewalk, you big hippie. Ha, so that wasn't so hard. I believe this is Chicago. Chicago looking pretty easy compared to Portland. They were going crazy out there. I didn't get too much footage of that. Let's see here. Oh, this is the one where the guy got hit with the rubber bullets. I think this is the one. Yeah. Tell me how much this you'd put up with. They're going to get tired of this real quick.
This shirt, you good, bro? I would have taken the shirt off. All right. Who's got a new shirt? Jesus. Holy fuck. Holy shit. He's trying to shoot me. Look at you aiming at me. Fuck. Get the fuck off the property. Quit your job. Get the fuck out of the property. What you're doing is wrong. Fuck you. You're a fucking waste. Fucking die. You're a fucking waste. Get out of here.
footage where you hear something whizzing by me, those are like sting balls or pepper balls being shot from a sniper that was on the roof of the federal building where ICE is operating out of. They had a guy on the roof shooting tear gas canisters and these sting balls that were just whizzing by, and thankfully we had to duck. You know, they were shooting at press, anybody, it didn't matter, press, protesters, they were just shooting. And we actually had to duck down a couple of times because they came right over our head. One press got hit in the face with one of the sting balls. I got shot in my hand. It's a little bit swollen. So that's what's going on here in Broadview, Illinois. Yep.
Oh, poor baby. Isn't that awful? Did you see the whelps on that boy's back? You'd have to have rocks in your head to keep doing that. Rocks in your head. Not too overbright, as my grandmother used to say. Not too overbright. Here's one where they're just screaming their heads off. Oh, by the way, I meant to put this up too. Sarah Jane Moore, who tried to end President Gerald Ford's life in 1975, dies at 95. That was an oddball situation, but not very. You know, they've got to do something to twist people's thinkings, even if it's something small. Sarah Jane Moore, who was in prison for more than 30 years after she made an unsuccessful attempt to assassinate President Gerald Ford in 1975, has passed away. She was 95 years old. Wow, she did 30 years in a joint. That was 50 years ago. So she must have got out when she was 75 and lived another 20 years. Man, she must have been living good in the prison. I don't know. Here's an oldie, an old one. This is years old. 4 years probably. January. A staged riot to cover up the fact that they certified a fraudulent election. Yeah, I wonder if that'd still get me in trouble, because the President of the United States has said that's exactly what it was. And I can repeat what the President of the United States says. Here, I think this is one where they scream their heads off. Here, is this the one? Oh, no. This is even worse. How would you like to live in Dearborn, Michigan? Does it sound like a nice place to live? Well, at 5:30 in the morning, people had put up outside loudspeakers all over Dearborn, Michigan. And they blast calling you to prayer. So they allow a foreign entity to disrupt the quiet enjoyment of everyday Americans for religious purposes, with today speakers in their own flipping home go off for a call to prayer, not have the entire community be subject to their worshiping requirements. So not only do we have the judiciary to clean out, and the military, but we have scores of local officials, and I'm talking about the ones who are sworn officers. Okay, they've taken the oath, and they're derelict in their duty. They have to be removed. places like Michigan, other places that have created, Portland is a good example, where they allow people to be abused, okay, should be put under a temporary military governorship and these people removed from power. Removed from power. Where is that young lady that was talking about, hold on, let me find it. What they're doing. What they're doing in, here we go, I think this is it. Portland. Yeah. They are preventing police officers from responding and leaving citizens at risk. How come that won't go over top? There we go. Let me see what happens. Uh-oh, I'll have to take that down. That's okay. Derelict in their duty to protect residents. Remove them, okay? And put a colonel or a general or somebody in charge of Portland until it gets straightened out. There could be new elections held. That's why these federal agents and National Guard are being placed around strategic areas. Two things. When Trump orders a new census to assist in the fair counting of American citizens for a new census that will be applied to the midterm elections. And the second thing is to remove these officials who willfully violate their oath and are derelict in their duty to protect their citizens and run the city, run the county, whatever they need to do until there are lawful elections taking place.
Night after night, this is the scene just outside the ICE facility in Portland. Hundreds of residents live in apartments just feet away. They routinely call police about the noise and crime.
I'm calling about the protesters. They've cornered 2 women out here. They need help. Please send the cops.
But the cops did not come. Residents on their own.
Turn that down! It's midnight! We the people need sleep!
This week, protesters brought what looked like a guillotine. Some confrontations end with residents getting assaulted. First a bullhorn, then a fist. No arrest was made despite the injuries. On this night in late June, federal police used tear gas and flashbangs. Again, no Portland police in sight. It came out later in court that one officer told another, if it were not ICE, we could assist directly. Julie Parrish sued the city to force police to enforce local laws.
This is a full-on abdication of police duty in a 4-block radius that impacts some of the most vulnerable Oregonians that we have. Now they've said, meh, we're just going to let violent rioters do this for 80 straight nights, and we don't care.
Portland police responded, we take these concerns seriously. At the same time, we are committed to protecting individuals' rights to express themselves peacefully.
The Portland approach is pathetic. It's childish, and if you enable people to behave the way the protesters have and wreck the neighborhood for everyone else, they will come back and wreck it the next night.
The protest chaos, which began with riots aimed at social justice in 2020, has severely damaged Portland's reputation. It's now ranked by the nonpartisan Urban Land Institute as the second worst place in America to invest. With 6.5 million square feet of commercial vacancy, the top 20 office towers have lost 57%. Portland's elected leaders ignored our request for comment about what some are calling the city's death spiral. As for those nightly protests, police admitted to us that they have not made a single arrest out there since June 18th.
Yeah, you saw it. And some of the citizens took the government to court for not protecting them, not doing their job, and the judge threw it out, and that judge should be removed. Hi, B. Charming. How you doing? Nice to see you. I hope you all remember to give me a thumbs up. Hi, Sparky. Thumbs up helps the video get around. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Here I want to play this little video about with Tucker Carlson. How they were talking about we want to protect their right to protest. Well, peacefully protest. Well, burning crap in the street and raising hell all hours of the night ain't peaceful, okay? Any idiot knows that. Damaging property, challenging, menacing law enforcement, burning noxious stuff in the street. You saw somebody get punched in the face on video. No police even show up. Everybody in charge should be removed from office. Military governorship till legitimate elections can be held. But anyway, here's Tucker Carlson talking about the freedom of freedoms over in the UK, the European Union.
How many people do you think were arrested in the United Kingdom for speech violations, arrested by the police, handcuffed and brought to jail in 2023? What's your guess? Is it more than 12,000? Because that's the answer, more than 12,000. Wow, that seems like a lot. Is that a lot? Well, let's compare it to the number, the widely agreed upon number, from the most totalitarian country in the world. A country so lacking in basic freedom, a country run by a madman, a country that's so evil we're literally at war with that country right now, just on principle. And that country, of course, is Russia under Vladimir Putin. How many were arrested in Russia? A country with twice the population of the UK. Oh, we happen to have the number. 3,319. So that tells you, you don't think totalitarianism can come to the Anglosphere? Oh, it already has.
Yeah, totalitarian. And if it can happen in the UK, you can't have bacon in front of certain people. In certain communities that you live in. They can yell and scream at you and attack you if you fly your own flag, like this young lady right here in Britain, flying her own flag. Nice young lady. It looks to me like she's just... Now this day, not burning anything or cursing anybody or throwing things. Now look at this guy in the blue. Watch him later on. He hadn't shaved in 2 or 3 days. Who the hell shows up to work like that's supposed to be a law enforcement officer? I'm on to talk. I got a big fat beard, but I'm not a cop either.
Why would you do that?
Because you're being a kid. Not getting it.
Should I get a flag back?
No.
Why not? This is Louis, yeah?
Yeah.
16 years old. Just had the flag that you've been carrying snatched out of your hand by that police officer. Shocking, isn't it? I know.
Crazy scenes.
There they are, going to confiscate more flags. He looked like an angry hobo. That's what they hire, angry hobos, paid off people. Where was this at? Wait a minute. Let me see. It was from Citizens Free Press right here. Let's see. Newcastle, UK. You can't even wave the flag of your own country in your own country. Yeah, try to have a ham and cheese sandwich on rye. See what happens to you when they get a hold of you. What? Hold on a second. Let's see. Well, I'll skip that. I'm burning up my time. Oh, this is the one where they're screaming and yelling. This one warms my heart. When you hear a screaming, shrieking banshee, whatever she's saying, whatever she's squealing, amounts to a pinch of owl poop. But they do it anyway. But anyway, that's what that one was doing that attacked that officer in the federal court, and they suspended the officer. I'll get to that in a little bit, but he's back at work and he's back with his pay. You can't have some histrionic lunatic following you around in the hallway, screeching and screaming at you like a rabid harpy grabbing at you, pushing you, pulling you. You do that and something's going to happen. And something did happen to her. She got knocked on her rear end. And somebody said, oh, this is unacceptable, and suspended the cop. Well, people raised hell, and he's back on the job.
All right, we are live outside of Broadview Detention Center here in Broadview, Illinois. Federal agents are opening the gate now.
Yeah, they are.
Everybody's suffering right now. People are throwing up.
That apparently was a flash in the pan. That's about as rough as it got, because once they got to business, I believe that was in Portland. Let me see. Trump posted that video. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see. Was this? Yeah, I think this was it right here. Oh, no, he didn't. This is Trump posted this again last night. Second time he posted it, where the Marines doing the silent drill. How many more messages is he going to send out? They're doing the silent drill. Tells me what I need to know that I already know. And, you know, it is a shame. You're right, Miss Mindersu. Pray for the innocents. Here are these people putting their livelihoods, their health, their reputation, their energy, their time out on the street for people that shouldn't even be in this country. And while that's going on, they're putting scalps on rats that used to belong to little ones that were living. And where the hell are their priorities? If they know about these things going on and they're ignoring them, they're demonic at their core. And there ain't no helping them. There ain't no helping them. Now I'm going to feel a bit sorry for any of them. Not a bit. You know, because communists, they're heartless by just the fact of life. Here's what the State Department put out about Venezuela. Well, everywhere around the world, if you really want to know the truth. Let me get my mic off so I can play it.
And Trump's leadership has taken bold, decisive action to protect our own citizens and to support our regional neighbors in battling the scourge. So far this year, the United States has designated 13 of these organizations for what they are: terrorist organizations.
Such organizations torture, maim, mutilate, and murder with impunity They're the enemies of all humanity.
We are meeting to figure out how we can work collectively to keep you safe, to stop these organizations, to dismantle them, so that we can stop the drug flows, stop the arms flows, stop the illegal immigration that these organizations are pushing.
Yeah, that's another one Trump posted. And here's something Trump posted you all will like. He reposted Red Line Report. Be honest. Did you stop watching Robert De Niro movies, yes or no? I put in my thumbnail. Comey and Epstein? Well, reports are coming out. Now that we know about his son-in-laws, 2 of them. We know about his daughter. I won't rehash that again. But he's got a son. Word is floating around that his son was involved in Clinton Foundation funding, and that James Comey knew Jeffrey Epstein, and Jeffrey Epstein handled some money for the Clinton Foundation, and that James Comey himself went to Epstein Island, not once, not twice, but many times. That's been buried, and has it been dug up? Is that the next boom we're going to see about Mr. James Comey? They want the Epstein files. They're going to get them. Keep hollering. One of the biggest psyops, counter psyops, is to get the left to demand the Epstein files. Because this is another blast from the past that I had in my studio. National Human Trafficking Hotline. There it is. Oh, wait a minute. That's the telephone number to the Clinton Foundation. 888-373-7888. Corrupt cop. Now here's a long video that Trump put up that was reposted by Diamond and Silk, and they put wow behind it. Now, wait a minute. Rob Finnerty, who is he? President Trump posted it yesterday. Is he with Newsmax? Because I'm trying to find out who is going to fill the slot when Comcast yanks MSNBC. That's coming in the next couple of weeks. But anyway, this tells it all exactly like it is.
I wanted to update you on something that my team found that will absolutely shock you. Ever since the election, Democrats have been trying to scare people into believing that Donald Trump and Elon Musk were coming for your Social Security, that they were coming for your Medicare, your Medicaid. They aren't. None of it was ever true, and now we have the proof. According to the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, Elon Musk's team has just discovered that immigration officials under Joe Biden were doing something that's never been done before. They were giving illegal aliens work authorization papers just 5 months after they filed for asylum. The Biden Immigration Department would then mail each illegal alien a Social Security number, no questions asked, no interview, no background check, and presto, you've got yourself a brand new Democratic voter. That's how they were doing it. No administration has ever done anything like it before, but clearly, Democrats had a plan all along, a plan that the media deliberately never talked about, a plan that was considered the third rail, off limits to even mention in polite company. They were importing voters. We have an answer to that question now. And while they were doing that, they were telling you this.
Well, there certainly is not an open border.
The border is secure, but we also have a broken immigration system.
The border is closed. The border is secure.
I just laid that really clear. It would be wrong to think that the border is open. It is not open.
They were importing Social Security Administration. The crime started immediately after Joe Biden took office in 2021. 270,000 illegals were given Social Security numbers. That's about the population of Hartford, Connecticut. That number would grow a year later to 590,000 illegals getting Social Security numbers, about the size of Cincinnati, Ohio. A year later, 2023, 964,000 illegals got Social Security numbers, about the size of San Francisco. And in Joe Biden's final year in office, on his way out the door, that number skyrocketed to just over 2 million illegal aliens getting Social Security numbers, roughly the size of our third biggest city, Chicago. In all, more than 3 million illegal aliens that crossed the border when Joe Biden was president now have Social Security numbers today that we know about, and it gets worse. According to DOE,
3 million illegal. I'm going to interrupt there because that was not 3 million. I should have stopped it earlier. It's closer to 4 million. 3,800,000 or more thousand. 3,800,000 or more thousand. That's almost 4 million. And then when he gets into talking about the drivers,
aliens are currently on Medicaid, and at least 500,000 now have a driver's license, and they are killing Americans behind the wheel. Over the last 4 years on U.S. roads, dozens of deaths that didn't need to happen. And some of these illegal aliens actually voted in the 2024 election. Something we were told was not happening is now a reality.
The Social Security Administration automatically sends you in the mail your Social Security number. No interview, no ID.
It was a massive, large-scale program to import as many illegals as possible, ultimately to change the entire voting map of the United States.
We actually just took a sample and looked at voter registration records, and we found people here registered to vote. In this population, yes.
And who did vote?
And we found some by sampling that actually did vote, and we have referred them to prosecution at the Homeland Security Investigation Service.
Yeah.
Already.
They have made that information public. Anybody who's curious can look at it. Do you still think that Elon Musk is trying to destroy Social Security? Do you still think that he's trying to destroy Medicare or Medicaid? We talked about that for weeks. We do not. And we think you need to know the truth. We can also confirm what we have suspected all along, that when Joe Biden said this, he absolutely meant it.
I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
He meant every word of that. For years, we would ask, why would anyone let 15 million criminals into the country illegally? They're here illegally. That makes them criminals. Why would any leader want to do that? Why would anyone want to fundamentally change the racial and ethnic makeup of the greatest country on earth, America? And now the answer is crystal clear. This was their plan all along. Democrats know that the only way their broken party can win elections in the future is to import voters. So that's exactly what they did, while telling the public that the border was closed. The border was closed, and they said that over and over again for 4 years. And the other option is simple. Joe Biden has got dementia. He was never in control or in charge, and as a result of that, bad actors were likely running the White House. The answer now is probably a combination of the two. But America needs answers, and Republicans have to investigate and possibly prosecute whoever perpetrated the greatest single crime in American history, and that's what this is. 15 million illegal aliens in this country in a 4-year period. These people should not be here. And it's time for Republicans to start doing exactly what Democrats did to them. People don't like the word revenge. Why not? It's time for that if it's warranted. When Donald Trump left office after his first term, Democrats prosecuted everyone. Steve Bannon went to jail. Peter Navarro went to jail. Paul Manafort, Roger Stone, Rick Gates, George Papadopoulos. Anyone who did anything related to Donald Trump got indicted because Democrats play dirty, and they are much better at it than Republicans. So where are we today? Well, the White House
undo all of this right now.
Well, wait a second. I'm just going to say, he said 500,000 illegals got driver's licenses. He's way off on that. They started motor voter laws more than 15 years ago, really strongly pushed under the first Obama administration, okay? And most states just require a valid driver's license, which are millions of illegal aliens with driver's licenses. And here you have on the screen Eric Swalwell, whose parents own a shipping company that does major business with China, been doing it for years, and he also had a Chinese spy on his staff. As a matter of fact, they were playing footsies, kissy, whatever.
And Democrats are protesting for illegal alien gang members who have already been deported to be brought back to the United States. That's how broken that party is.
This is what kicking the out of fascism looks like.
I am an immigrant. I am undocumented, unafraid, queer, and unashamed.
So we are very big on the chanting, and y'all have all the energy today. So, no Trump,
no KKK, no fascist USA.
If you've got the means to unlawfully deport someone, you find the means to bring them back.
Bring them back. They want criminals back in the endorsed plan. For 4 years, Joe Biden claimed he needed Congress to close that border. That was a lie. According to the Department of Homeland Security today, illegal border crossings in March dropped to their lowest levels in recorded history, dropping by over 95% from what they were 1 year ago.
During the same period last year, Joe Biden released more than 184,000 illegal aliens into our country. Think of it. Many of these people were from jails and mental institutions, as I said. Since my inauguration, we've released a grand total of nine. And they were all, in all cases, medical emergencies. But we will continue to deport these monsters under the Alien Enemies Act. Think of that, Alien Enemies Act. Can you believe it?
Many Democrats, many stars of the Democratic Party seem to be really confused about what the law is here in the United States. They seem to think that what the White House and what ICE are doing is illegal. It's not.
My Republican colleagues are here using today to continue pushing this false narrative of sanctuary cities harboring criminals. Yet right here in D.C., we have a 34-count felon being harbored in the White House. The hypocrisy coming from your side of the aisle over concerns regarding lawlessness is outrageous. Right now, House Republicans are conducting town halls with constituents lying about our legal system. That, quote, there is no due process if you come here illegally because you violated the law. That immigrants, quote, are not entitled to due process. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that.
Well, now, hold on a second.
Actually,
Now, hold on, Jasmine. I got to say something. That is another reason why Judge McCon has got to go, because he manipulated that court situation. He gave license to these media trash like Jasmine Crockett and all the other ones to sit there and call Trump a felon 34 times over made-up charges. It was done with malicious and criminal intent, and Judge McConn's got to go. Judge Kaplan's got to go, and so does Judge Engoron. But anyway, I'll let him finish his point about due process. You get the process you are due. And as an illegal alien, you're not due the same process as an American citizen, plump and plain.
Most certainly does. We looked into it. I'm sorry to be the very first person to tell you this, Jasmine, but illegal aliens do not have the same rights as U.S. citizens. They do not have due process under the law like U.S. citizens do. According to the law, protections for illegal aliens are limited. They are not entitled to a public defender. There is no jury because these proceedings happen in civil court. The standard of proof is also a whole lot lower. Essentially, federal agents just have to present proof that they are here illegally before an immigration judge, and then they can be deported. Americans, it's a losing issue for sanctuary cities, and it's a losing issue for Democrats who, for whatever reason, have decided that these people who have nothing to do with America because they are not American are more important than you, to the point where the White House, under Joe Biden, tried to replace you and your vote with them, and now we finally have the proof.
Information.
Well, hopefully we will see Newsmax in a prominent position where MSNBC used to be, and people can sit and listen to those facts of the matter. That's one of my favorite terms, facts of the matter. Let's see, Donald Trump, let's take a little respite and see what he has to say. We have a real chance for greatness in the Middle East. All are on board for something special. First time ever. We will get it done. President Donald J. Trump, now he has come out and said he will stop Israel from taking over the West Bank. He said, I'll stop it. They're not going to do it. Bibi Netanyahu put out to the United Nations a message to Hamas. Let our hostages go. Bring them back, and you can live. If you don't, we will hunt you down. So, sounds like he said something very rough there, but it's actually an olive branch. The people behind what happened October 7th have no business on the face of this earth, but he's given them the opportunity. Take your choice. You can live or you can not live, okay? Now, I want to address this real quick. This person that crashed into the church, the Mormon church, that's the same thing as the Church of Latter-day Saints, isn't it? They had a patriarch die. Trump made mention of it. The guy was 101 years old. He died yesterday. He passed away yesterday. But now I'm trying to get this picture to expand, but it doesn't want to. Let me see. The church. Now, by the truck was burned up. The building was burnt to the ground. A lot of speculation of what happened. One, I think I got a picture of him in here somewhere. Here's the church after it got burned to the ground. Accelerants with him. He had a weapon or two or three, and he had devices in the truck. The whole thing is just burnt to the ground. And my early analysis of this is, I don't know, if you all listened to me before and gone to JLR investigates, breaking news, that's the way he starts it. Breaking news, Thomas Hanford, Burton, Michigan, church shooter, put up some of his Facebook posts, and it seems he's a Rocky vet. And you notice the flags on the back of his truck. I took the picture down, but he did have flags in the back of his truck. If you watch a guy that does a show on YouTube, it's called True Crime Loser. The guy's name is Scott, I believe. I can't remember his last name. But anyway, he goes, hi, folks. Welcome to True Crime Loser. And he goes over all kinds of stories with a bent of humor. But he had one show he did. He is a former Mormon. I guess he still may be a Mormon. And he was raised Mormon. His parents were raised Mormon. He did a story about a married couple that had gone to, air quote, counseling in the Mormon church. And apparently there's some very detailed, I'll say, guidelines that you have to follow. And it's right rough. They ask you very, very personal questions, and you have to be honest with the deacon, and they counsel you on how to make your marriage work. Maybe I can get a link to that video that he did. But anyway, this to me was very personal, not toward any religion, not any political ideology. I think this man had a break with reality and reason, and part of it was rage directed specifically at that church and its parishioners. The story that was told on True Crime, a Loser, was that you have to tell the deacon or the assigned counselor very intimate details about yourself, about your marriage. They put very strict rules on you. You may have to be banished from the house for a time. In this particular case, I think a wife found a girly magazine or something that, may, in a normal relationship, would cause an argument, maybe a knot on somebody's head, and then it straightens out. They quit doing that. But this turned into a big business where the person wasn't allowed around their children. He was counseled for hours at a time about what a wretch he was and a potential prevert. And the wife wanted to reconcile after a period of months, allow him back in the house, and the church wouldn't let him go back because they didn't feel he'd suffered enough. And anyway, on top of that, it's very hard to keep people's personal business a secret. And if you feel other parishioners are knowing your most intimate relationship facts or rumors or whatever, there's a reason people say don't interfere, with relationships. It's very personal, and it just seems to me, check out True Crime Loser. I bet you dollars to donuts he's going to do a story on this specific case. He was in the Mormon church. He has contacts high up in the Mormon church that he'll explain how their marriage counseling works, how their non-disclosure agreements work, where you can't talk about it outside the church or away from the deacon, how they have a real strong amount of control over your personal life, your marriage. And if something like that happened and this guy had a bolt pop out of his head from PSTD or whatever, it was definitely a personal, directed anger toward that specific location and the people in it. That's my initial thoughts on the matter. And if I hear anything, I will tune you all in where to go to find out more. So, I had a cop tell me one time he'd rather get in the middle of bulldogs fighting and deal with a domestic situation, because next thing you know, they're fighting each other. Then you get in the middle of it. Next thing you know, both of them are wanting to knock that bee-jabbers out of you. There's no winning, right? So anyway, folks, Oh, by the way, I refreshed the Buy Me a Coffee link. If anybody wants to help the channel out, I have a link in the description on Rumble and YouTube. And the one on YouTube should work now, unless they disabled, which they've done in the past, as punishment. They have disabled my ability to put in links, but it should work right now. I have another video that I wanted to show you, and it has to do with my thumbnail, which I put up earlier, which was Trump landing at the UN. And this is the unmolested picture here without any words on it, where his helicopter came in behind the Ospreys, bringing press and support staff. And Dan Scavino that actually took the video. And this is the perspective. You see, this is whoever took this picture here was looking at it from one side toward the UN. The videographer here is standing between the Ospreys themselves. And for those of you who have been with me for a long time, you know that I've talked about my father in the past. Used to play the piano. He had a Steinway grand piano, 1878. Steinway and Sons concert grand. And he used to sing what I consider to be Trump's theme song, Nessun Dorma. So, again, this is Dan Scavino posting a first-person view of Donald Trump landing at the UN, ready to lay down the law, not only at the UN, but worldwide and domestically. So, you all enjoy this clip. Have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Stelle all'alba vincerò.